What's going on, guys? Believe it or not, if I don't tell you that today's video is sponsored, I'm gonna go to jail. Yes, today's video is sponsored by Rib Tea. I'm gonna give you some more information on that. And today I wanna talk to you guys about undershirts. Now, this is one of those pretty polarizing subjects that exists quite a bit in the world of menswear. You have guys who are vehemently of the opinion that you should never ever wear undershirts. You have guys who say that it is absolutely ridiculous and white trash and trashy to not wear a white shirt, and very few people that kind of fall anywhere in between. But I lean a little bit more towards the side that you should always wear an undershirt. Typically, that's the approach that I take. I've worn an undershirt every day for the last 15 years because I see some major advantages to it. And I want to tell you guys what they are, along with giving you some tips about how to wear them. And then at the end, I'll give you a good tip about where to get these. All right, so reason number one, it's the best thing that you can do for your clothing. If you're like me, which I know most of you guys are, you want to invest in quality items. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's the most expensive, but you want to get the most bang for your buck. And when it comes down to it, if you're wearing a nice shirt, especially a nice button-up shirt, you want to be able to take care of it and have it last as long as you can. You pay 100, 200, 300 bucks for a shirt, you don't want to be dealing with pit stains. You don't want to be dealing with the damage that can come from sweat or come from your natural oils. You want to be able to have that shirt last as long as possible. You want to take care of your investment. One of the better ways to do that is by wearing an undershirt, because all of that other stuff that can break down the fibers in the cloth of the shirt is going to go to your undershirt instead. So if you're paying 20, 30 bucks for an undershirt, you go through one of those in a year, not that big of a deal compared to going through a really nice custom dress shirt in a year. So number one, because it protects your other clothing. Reason number two, because it helps you deal with sweat. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I get sweaty sometimes. And most of the time when I'm sweaty, it's right here in my pits. One of the best things that happens with an undershirt is that it helps hold and retain some of that sweat. Again, that comes down to that protection aspect, but from a visible and an aesthetic standpoint, a lot of times it will hold on to a layer before it gets too bad, and so you can have your hands up and do all these sorts of things without having to worry about showing those awful sweat rings, because your undershirt's gonna have your back. It's gonna take care of things for you that way. Reason number three, you don't wanna nip out. Let's be honest, some guys, and I'm this way, you ever catch me in the gym and I don't know what it is, but these things are diamond cutters. They pop out of my shirts and they get pretty bad. And if you want to avoid that look, which trust me, you want to avoid that look, then having another layer on there is going to make it easier to do that. It will suppress that, it will keep things clean, and so you won't look like you're nipping out even when you are. It's going to make your whole appearance significantly better. So, three big reasons, take advantage of those. Now, some of the cons of wearing undershirts are actually only cons if you're not doing it right. I'll give you two tips as far as the right way to wear an undershirt. Tip number one is to make sure that it's got a deep enough and a low enough V that you can't see it. Because the last thing that you want to do is have one of those shirts that's a crew neck and it comes right up here and you've got this awful white blah that hangs out from your shirt collar, because it ruins the intentionality of your appearance, and you don't want people seeing your underwear. And so you want to make sure that you're buying one that is both wide enough and deep enough in the V that you don't see it when that shirt is buttoned up. You don't want anybody to ever know that you're wearing one. Little like 1.5 tip, get a color that's going to work with what you're wearing. I've got a gray one on today. It works with my blue shirts. It works great with other darker colors. Wear a white if you're wearing whites so that it doesn't show through and make your whites look dingy. So focus on those lighter colors and have them work with what you're doing. Tip number two is don't buy just a t-shirt. You want something to be nice and snug, almost to the point where you feel a little bit uncomfortable when you wear it, at least until you get used to it. Honestly, I'm of the opinion that if it doesn't show off that extra 10 pounds that you're trying to lose, then it's probably a little bit too big. You don't want any extra cloth that's coming up through your shirt. You want it to look like this shirt that you're actually wearing over your undershirt is just following your natural lines as opposed to being restricted by the other cloth that's underneath there. So make sure that it's nice and snug, size down. When you buy the right kind of shirt though, you can still get it in the right size, and you're gonna get two big advantages of it size-wise. One is that it's gonna be cut deep enough, and two is that it's going to be long enough that it actually stays tucked into your jeans when you need them to be, as opposed to, I have to go down to an XS, and that way it just hits right above my belly button. When you're buying an actual quality undershirt, it's going to be long enough that it's gonna stay in and do its job. So, where do you buy a quality undershirt? This is where I'm pointing you guys towards Rib Tea. Now, like I've told you before with other sponsored posts, like I'll continue to tell you, yes, I get paid for stuff like this. That's why I can continue to make these videos. No, that doesn't mean that I have anybody who reaches out to me that I'm willing to just say, sure, I'll make a video for you. I've known Mike from Rib Tea since 2014. He was at the first ever StyleCon when it wasn't even really a convention. It was just a group of bloggers and a few other people in the industry, and I met him there, and I've gotten to know him pretty well since then. Mike is a great guy, and he runs a great company. Their quality is fantastic, the fit is phenomenal, and their price is really good. And as a way to make their price even better, of course I got you guys a coupon code. So you go over, check out their site. I've got a link for it down below. Put in the code MS, as in Masculine Style, MS20, to get 20% off your order. Go check these guys out, if anything, just to support the company itself. But again, do yourself a favor and buy quality stuff. You're not going to pay an arm and a leg for it, but it's going to be better than the crappy Hanes stuff you get at Walmart. So it'll do the job, it'll fit the way you want it to, it's going to help you accomplish all the goals that an undershirt actually should, and then you'll be able to have better protection, better sweat prevention. It's just going to look better. It's a good thing that's going to up your style game in a way that's more function than form, but it's going to help you maintain that form and help protect the investment that you've made in the rest of your wardrobe. Hope you guys liked the video. Leave it a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time.